Hi students, today we will be studying about the first method of solving a parallel AC circuit by using phasor diagram method. In this method, we have to find out the magnitude and phase angle of each branch current. So we can find the magnitude and phase angle of each branch current by the phasor diagram or by drawing the phasor diagram. For this we will require two quantities, voltage and current. Now here voltage is constant, referring to this figure. It's a parallel circuit. As you know, in a parallel circuit, for both these branches voltage will be constant. It is V will be same for if this is say V1 across this branch, V2 and V1 will be equal. So we can just say V2 is equal to V1 is equal to V. So the base phasor or the reference of the phasor diagram can be taken as V as shown in this figure. Now the magnitude of the line current can be found out, or the magnitude and the phase angle of the line current can be found out by two methods, namely the parallelogram method and by the method of components. Since the parallelogram method will be a tedious one, so we will be using the method of components method. It is a method of components. Now for this, referring again to this figure 1, we will find out the branch current. We have to find out what here this total current I has been divided into two parts, I1 and I2. So we have to find out what I1, I2. For this, what do we require? We know that I is equal to what? V by Z. So we require this impedance. So impedance is simple. Impedance will be what? Z is equal to root over R1 square plus the resistance or the inductive, so root over R1 square plus XC1 square. As it is written here, Z1 is equal to root over R1 square plus XC1 square. So this is Z1 and we know voltage V is constant. So line current I1 is equal to V by Z1. That is, this is the magnitude of the current. Similarly, the phase angle will be what? The phase angle, let us consider phase angle as phi1. So phi1, from the formula we know phi1 is equal to what? Tan inverse XC1 by R1. Similarly, the branch current I2 can also be found out. Z2 for here, Z2 will be what? Root over this one, R2 square plus XL2 square. That is the R2 square. R2 is the resistance across the resistor R2 and the XL2 is what? It is the opposition offered by this inductor L2 to the flow of current. That is known as inductive reactance. So this is inductive reactance. So I2 is equal to again V by Z2, or again phi2 phase angle is equal to tan inverse XL2 by R2. So now we have found out the angle, phase angle and the line current. Now we can draw the phasor diagram. For phasor diagram, we have to draw the base V. Now suppose we are just considering that this line current, total current coming out of this voltage source is leading the voltage by say any angle phi. So when it is leading, we will have to draw like this. If we consider it as lagging, we can also consider as lagging, then we have to draw downwards. Next comes what we need I1 and I2. So I1 and I2 we have got this I1, I2 and phase angle phi1, phi2. Now from this, what we have to calculate, we have to calculate I, the magnitude of I and the magnitude of the angle phi. So using this diagram, we have drawn I. So I1 will be what? I1, here it is given as I1 is equal to V by Z1, or phi is equal to tan inverse XC1 by R1. Now we know for series RC circuit, current is what? for series RC circuit, current leads the voltage by angle say phi 1. So we are drawing this I1 above the voltage and it is leading by this angle phi 1. Similarly, for this branch, second branch consisting of resistance and inductor, we know when current flows through to a series circuit consisting of resistor and inductor, then the current will lag behind the voltage V. So it is lagging, so we are drawing downwards. So it is lagging by phi 2. Now we can draw a parallelogram like this. So now from this we know that first what we have to find out, we have to find out I cos phi. So I cos phi is what? Algebraic sum of components I1 and I2 along the x direction, and along the y direction it will be I sin phi. Simple. So I cos phi is equal to algebraic sum of components of I1 and I2 along axis. It is equal to I1 cos phi 1 plus I2 cos phi 2. So the line current I is the phasor sum of I1 and I2. Suppose its phase angle is phi degree as shown in figure here. The values of I and phi can be determined by resolving the current into the rectangular components. We know the rectangular components is what? For it will be for I, it will be the horizontal component will be I cos phi and the vertical component will be I sin phi. So for this I, it will be, this one will be I cos phi and this one will be I sin phi. Now I cos phi, again you see this is common, voltage is common. Now the line current I is the phasor sum of I1 and I2. Suppose its phase angle is phi. So I cos phi is algebraic sum of components I1 and I2 along x-axis. So I1 into cos phi 1 plus I2 cos phi 2. This V is equal to I cos phi. So I cos phi will be what? I1, the horizontal component of I1 will be I1 cos phi 1 and the vertical will be I1 sin phi 1. Similarly, the horizontal component of I2 will be I2 cos phi 2 and the vertical component of I2 will be what? This one, I2 sin phi 2, because here you see this is the voltage line or this is the reference, this is the current. So we know the vertical and horizontal component is taken from like this, no? If we draw a triangle I2, this is the vertical component I2 sin, cos phi 2 and this is the I2 sin phi 2. So I sin phi is equal to algebraic sum of components of I1 and I2 along y-axis. So this y-axis we have to consider this because the vertical component of I is what? I sin phi 1. So I sin phi 1 will be equal to I1 sin phi 1 minus of I2 sin phi 2, because this is in the reverse direction. If you reverse it, this I2 sin phi 2, if you reverse it, it will be minus. So this minus sign is there. So if you find the magnitude, I is equal to what? Root over I cos phi whole square plus I sin phi whole square. Now putting the values of I cos phi and I sin phi, I cos phi is this one, this term, I1 cos phi 1 plus I2 cos phi 1, phi 2. Similarly, I sin phi is what? I1 sin phi I1 minus I2 sin phi 2, this whole square. So again taking the square root, I is equal to root over I1 cos phi 1 plus I2 cos phi 2 whole square plus I1 sin phi 1 minus I2 sin phi 2 whole square. Now to find out the phase angle, we know tan phi is equal to what? Tan phi is I sin phi plus I cos phi. So I sin phi we know this term, so we have written like this, I1 sin phi 1 minus I2 sin phi 2. Similarly, I cos phi is what? I1 cos phi 1 plus I2 cos phi 2. That means tan phi is equal to the y component by x component. Now if phi is positive, phi positive means what? Line current and line voltage will be, the relationship will be what? The current, line current will lead the voltage if this is positive, and if it is negative, that is phi is less than 0, then what will happen? the current will lag behind. That means it will in the reverse direction, as we have considered now. This is just an example, or this is the method. But if we are if in exam it is given that, say there are some values of R1, C1, R2, L2. Say this is 2 ohm, C1 is say 0.2 farad, or R2 is 3 ohm, or L2 is say 3.5 ohm. So like this, if we have some values, then if we solve the problem, then if phi is found out to be positive, that means what? This line current is leading the voltage by the phi angle, and if it is negative, then it is lagging behind the voltage. So again, if we find out phi, then from this term I cos phi, we know I cos phi. Again we have found out I, so we can find out the circuit power factor. Circuit power factor can be found out by I cos phi by I. So I cos phi is what? I1 cos phi 1 plus I2 cos phi 2 by I. So that means circuit power factor is X component by I. So this is how we can find out the line current So this is how we can solve a parallel AC circuit by phasor diagram method. Now, it is suitable only when the parallel circuit is not complex. If the parallel circuit contains like more than 2 components or 3 components also we can find out. But if it consists of more than 3 components, or it is much complex, then we cannot use this method because it will take more time. Or if there are 2 or more branches, then also it will be a tedious process. So then we can use the second method, which is known as the phasor algebra method. Now this is simpler because here we do not require any phasor diagram. We just use the rules of algebra, that is phasor algebra. Now referring back again to the figure 1, we have here the voltage, alternating voltage, simple V. So V, if we write, it will be V plus J into 0. That is, it does not have any complex part. Similarly, Z1 is, we have found out Z1 is equal to R1 minus J into XC1. Again, Z2 is equal to R2 plus J into XL2. Now, to solve by using phasor algebra method, we can take 2 types, rectangular or polar. Like we are using the rectangular form or polar form because it is more simpler. If we consider the other exponential, you can also consider the exponential form, then it will be little bit complex. So for rectangular form, we know current I1 is equal to V by Z1. Again we can write V by R1 minus J into XC1. Similarly, I2 will be V by Z2. Z2 value is R2 plus J into XL2. So line current is what? I is equal to I1 plus I2. So V by R1 minus J into XC1 plus V by R2 plus J into XL. Similarly, I2 is equal to V by Z2. V by Z2 is what? R2 plus J XL2. So we can find out simply just I is equal to what? I1 plus I2. So I1, we found out V by R1 minus J into XC1 plus V by R2 plus J into XL2. Now the solution of I can be obtained in the standard form A plus minus JB. How we can find out? If we you do this by yourself, it is simple. Just if you do calculation like R1 minus J into XC1, R2 plus J into XL2, then it will be what? V into R2 plus J into XL2 plus V into R1 minus J into XC1. So this, if we simplify it, we will get a form which will be in the form of A plus minus JB. So it is very simple as compared to the phasor diagram method. Similarly, this was in the rectangular form. Similarly, in the polar form, polar form what we consider? We consider the magnitude and the phase angle, V and angle 0. V is V and the angle was 0. So similarly for Z1, the magnitude was Z1 and the phase angle was minus phi 1. So where Z1, the magnitude of the value of Z1 or the magnitude of Z1 is root over R1 square plus XC1 square, and angle phi 1 is equal to tan inverse of XC1 by R1. Similarly Z2 is Z2 angle phi 2, where Z2 is equal to root over R2 square plus XL2 square, and phi 2 is equal to tan inverse of XL2 by R2. So I1 will be what? V by Z1. Similarly, again we will put the value. V is V angle 0, Z1 is Z minus phi 1. So V by Z1, 0 minus phi 1 is 0 minus minus of phi 1 will be phi 1. Similarly, I2 is V by Z2, V angle 0, here angle is phi 2. So V by Z2, 0 minus of phi 2 will be V by Z2 angle minus phi 2. So line current is what? I is equal to I1 plus I2, that is V by Z1 angle of phi 1, angle phi 1 plus V by Z2 angle minus phi 2.